Covering the European LCS, Best Driven NA Tourney, and expected changes for Summoner's Rift, I'm Lindsay Geektr0n, and this is the league's direction in review. The EU LCS started off on a sour note as connection problems have plagued the server for the entirety of the weekend. But when play was resumed, absolute insanity unfolded. Insanity! Game 1 of Giants vs Alternate started the day off hard as the win went convincingly to Giants in a clear domination. And although Game 2 started off strong for Alternate, hard throws gave way to yet another victory. Invigorated from their throw, Alternate came out on fire as Freljord's Nidalee landed spear after spear, aiding in Game 3 victory. A 4-0 exchange plus Baron swung the fourth game in their favor, leading to a harrowing and unexpected Game 5. Giants started off well, putting pressure on every lane and pushing a gold lead up to an incredible 9,000 gold. But then the 3,000 elo shockwave of Legends. Freljord hit all 5 members with an amazing ultimate stacked on top of a Rumble's equalizer, decimating the entirety of the Giants. One more team fight closed the game, giving the European LCS a new pro team for the second half of Season 3. Sinners Never Sleep took on AAA in the second matchup of the day, Sinners taking an early advantage in Game 1, leading to a 3-5 ace even when AAA comboed Orianna, Miss Fortune, Sona, and Jarvan ults together. Following the net team fight, AAA's AD carry No rage quit, leading to an embarrassing surrender for their team. Game 2 and Game 3 went just as the first, with SNS dominating from minute 1 and never letting AAA have a chance, introducing the second new team for the European LCS. Copenhagen Wolves aimed to be the first team to remain in the LCS by attempting to take down the up-and-comers Samurai and Jeans. With global ult secured win 1 for Wolves, the Samurais didn't let the pressure of Shen and TF slow them down as they surgically controlled objectives for their first win. Undaunted, the Wolves flaunted their pro-level experience as they snowballed an early gold lead for Game 3. The Samurais couldn't quite pull together their magic as the Wolves starved out SIJ to secure their seat for the rest of Season 3. Meet Your Makers came in as the favorite to take down the last place Dragonborns, but didn't start off well for their LCS hopes as Dragonborns picked up 8 kills in the first 10 minutes of round 1. Dragonborns snowballed a slight gold advantage for the 2-0 lead in the series, while MYM secured a crucial Baron and the following 2 team fights to win Game 3. Meet Your Makers took control of Game 4 with their objective control as the team fight at Drag and an early Baron allowed them to bleed out all of Dragonborn's towers, setting up Game 5 for all of the LCS marbles. Even though Dragonborns were able to take a 4-for-1 fight at Baron, MYM's momentum was unstoppable, their team building a 15,000 gold lead and sealing MYM's fate as the last LCS team. Following the European top lane 1v1 for All Stars, North America had its take as a Best Driven NA tournament was hosted over the weekend. With the week off for NA LCS, thousands tuned in to see who could get the bragging rights in this massive double elimination tournament. CLG fans, already hurting from their team's possible elimination from LCS, felt the sting as Hotshot GG was taken down by AD carry player I'm a Cutie Pie before minions even reached the lane. Excitement peaked as a matchup of Poulter and the Intenso was so close that it resulted in an unheard of first blood tie. The gap of time between killing each other was so small that it fell in the millisecond gap between server pings, giving the title of First Blood to Poulter, but the 400 gold prize landed in the Intenso's pocket. Closing the tournament and taking first place overall was none other than Team Marn's top laner MegaZero, who barely edged out Anaratic in an incredibly close 5-game set. I'd be willing to bet that when the NA Spring Split starts up next week that Mega might draw out a Riven ban or 2. If there's anything to take away from this weekend, it's that Riven is clearly overpowered and due for a nerf, seeing as she was picked in 100% of the games this weekend. Right? Please. Because Best Riven NA. Haha. Last weekend witnessed a hailstorm of content updates as Wrath of the Lich King excuse me. Freljord patch came into effect. The introduction of the beautifully redesigned all-random, all-mid map, coupled with its own matchmaking system, has been met with cheers from the community. While League of Legends is renowned for its relatively bug-free and balanced competitive platform, it hasn't exactly been a shining beacon of role-playing and lore. Nevertheless, Riot has to be congratulated on the level of work put into crafting the redesigned Freljord champions, along with the... what is that a cinematic? The fuck, Riot? Along with the lore changes and graphical reworks, Riot pushed through several notable buffs for champions fallen by the wayside. While Trundle and Sejuani received a top-to-bottom remake, many characters, such as Quinn and Malzahar, had ineffectual toolboxes despite their satisfying feel. Similarly, small changes to Zed, Udyr, and Thresh were able to balance out their steep and even cheesy capabilities to dominate lane without putting a wet blanket on the way they function. Nasus, though, literally cutting the attack speed reduction on his Wither in half, that's like something larger and wetter than a wet blanket. The metaphor really eludes me right now, but you get the idea. Regardless of the nerfs and in light of the buffs though, all of these champions have already been seen to be in a much better and balanced state, illustrating yet again how dedicated Riot is to developing the smoothest and fairest game that they can, working down an almost endless checklist provided to them by the community. For that, we have to thank them. Good guy, Riot. Like, subscribe, and comment below with what changes to the game you have loved and what changes you would love to see. I'm Lindsay Geektr0n, and this has been your weekly league update on TLDR.